We all know we do it. There are things, sometimes legitimate problems, or in this cases, small issues that we turn into mountains that we love to complain about. Some of these issues may be more personal oriented, while others I think we can all get behind. In the end, any complaints that we have about a roller coaster or theme parks are insignificant to real problems we can face in our lives. So with that said, let's take this video as how we should, not serious. Before we get to the content of this video, please do me a favor by clicking on that like button. Newcomers to my channel that love roller coasters, be sure to follow. Pacing. I think the complaint can be boiled down to 4 words, and that's mid-course brake run. Here you are, just having the greatest of time, suddenly all the fun is sucked out of the air as you enter the mid-course brake run. The 3 to 5 seconds of interrupted fun seems like a ride killer to many. Personally, for the most part, I don't have a problem with MCBRs, as they serve a purpose, and that's usually higher capacity, which is another topic I will touch on in a bit. Of course, there are other issues that affect pacing, like the pointless straight track we found on Superman Ride of Steel, a lesser intense helix that feels more like filler. I'm thinking of multiple coasters like Yukon Striker, Orion, Gatekeeper, and Ferry 325. In fact, many will nitpick some sort of issues on any coaster and say it suffers from pacing issues. I've even heard this complaint about roller coasters that are yet open. Assigned seating. On a surface level, assigned seating seems like a great idea across the board. Roller coasters can be loaded more efficiently, meaning faster dispatches and shorter wait times. The downside to assigned seating means, well, you don't get to pick your seat. If you've been waiting for over 2 hours only to be assigned a middle row, that might be a deflating moment. This happened to me on Diamondback. After waiting about 90 minutes, I was assigned to a middle row with no option of waiting for the front or back rows. I was disappointed because I really wanted to experience that insane airtime in the back row. Not every roller coaster is greatly affected by assigned seating. I think assigning guests to a seat on family coasters or single train coasters like a shuttle ride makes logical sense. In the end, for extremely busy parks, assigned seating is a necessary evil. Bad restraints. A fantastic roller coaster can be spoiled by bad restraints. Prior to receiving new restraints, Skyrush was known as Thigh Crush because of its horrendous lap bars that would continue to crush your thighs. Another roller coaster that had bad restraints is Superman the Ride. This roller coaster is loaded with great airtime, exciting laterals, and decent positive Gs. But the restraints can turn your smile upside down. The badly designed lap bar will press up against your thighs, causing pain during some of the ride's best airtime moments. Over-the-shoulder restraints can also be ruinous on certain attractions, especially when the roller coaster doesn't need them. The comfort collars found on new Skyrocket 2 models have been sneered by the coaster community. We know that the ride can operate perfectly safe without them, but it's only added to make the rider feel safe. Over-the-shoulder restraints can smack up against your neck, or in worst-case scenarios, turn your head into a ball from a game of pinball. Vekoma SLCs are the most notable for their headbanging extravaganza. Weather. I think everyone can find something to complain about when bad weather is in play. It's horrible after planning weeks, maybe even months in advance, only for your trip to be soured by bad weather. There is the random thunderstorm that can show up in the middle of the day, bringing any fun to a grinding halt. Every park has a different policy when it comes to lightning. Some are more strict than others. I've been in parks where the rides wouldn't operate at all, even though there wasn't a storm cloud in sight or it had already passed like an hour ago. My last visit to Canada's Wonderland, a rainstorm blew through, and it took forever for the rides to open after the rain parted. Now, there can be an upside to bad weather. For starters, it can scare away larger crowds, meaning more ride time for you and your party. The best scenario is when you plan a trip to a park on a bad weather day. Many don't come because of rumored weather, but fortunately for you, the clouds hold back and you have a grand time enjoying the short lines. Long lines. If there is one thing that can ruin a bad day more than the weather, it has to be the long wait times. As a coaster enthusiast, we're used to standing in line. For the most part, we will tolerate a longer line if it's for a new credit or a ride on one of our favorite attractions. But when we wait hours for a roller coaster that turns out to be a dud, what a waste of time. If you can believe it, I actually waited about 90 minutes for Wild Mouse at Idlewild. Granted, it's kind of a rare credit since the roller coaster's never open, but the wait wasn't worth the excitement I got out of the ride. Complaining about long wait times extends past the attractions. I hate it when I have to stand in a long line just to gain access to the park. We've been there, the park only has a couple gates open, so it's a timely process for every party to walk through the security checkpoint. Finally, what I consider the worst of the worst to wait in line for, and that's food stands. When you are starving or thirsty, the last thing you want to do is stand in a slow-moving line. Thankfully, since the pandemic, many parks have started to introduce mobile ordering, which is amazing. Instead of waiting in line, just order on the app, get a notification when it's ready, and walk right up and grab your food. You might even be able to squeeze in another ride before the food is ready. Skip the line passes. Going along with long wait times, let's talk about the necessary evil that is the skip the line pass. I think Disney was the first to introduce this concept at their theme parks. It wasn't an upcharge, but a way to control the flow of guests through the park, helping to balance out the overall wait times for their attractions. Now, almost every major theme park has jumped on the bandwagon, but instead of offering it as complimentary, it's an upcharge service. The prices vary by park, ranging from $50 upwards $300 plus. Also, some of these parks offer different packages that include limited skips or make it only available for a smaller selection of rides. I feel like I'm always picking on Cedar Point, but their Skip the Line Pass has become a necessity if you must visit during a holiday or weekend. It's practically the only way to do the park. For those who don't purchase the pass will be frustrated by even longer lines that move at a slow pace. You could be standing still for 15 minutes while watching other guests just waltz right through in the fast lane queue. At the same time, the Skip the Line upcharge has gotten so popular that even paying the hefty fee, sometimes you'll still find yourself standing in a line over an hour long. I purchased the Fastlane Plus option during my visit to Canada's Wonderland. The Fastlane for Alpenfury was pushing 60 minutes on a busy weekend. I think if I was given the opportunity, I would end the skip the line system and work on improving ride capacity and efficiency. Since I know this will never happen, I mean these skip the line systems are turning into a real moneymaker. Coaster enthusiasts will have to pay up or deal with the longer lines. Cloned roller coasters. It's not that I hate cloned attractions, it's just disappointing when you are visiting a park for the first time and you're basically ridden every roller coaster there since they're all cloned roller coasters. I'm looking at you, Six Flags. Sure, there can be some differences that will help provide some variety. A good example would be Tempesto and Phobia Fear Coaster. Both are Skyrocket 2 models, except Tempesto has comfort collars and Phobia Fear Coaster does not. The train is also one car longer on Tempesto, so the forces will be a little bit more intense in that back row. However, when you come across a Vekoma SLC or a Boomerang, you know what you're getting. The restraints might be a little different, possibly the version with the vest restraints, but personally, I don't think that they make a huge difference to warrant a trip out to such a park to ride another Boomerang or Vekoma SLC. Batman the Ride is another famously cloned roller coaster. As great of a roller coaster they may be, it's still a cloned coaster that I've ridden multiple times at other parks. So it's another disappointment, especially when I know the park could have gone with a unique original layout. Alright, the number one complaint is one train ops. The greatest sin of all. Imagine yourself heading to your favorite park, ready to get multiple rides on your favorite roller coaster. As you are parking the car, you notice that the parking lot isn't full of cars, so you get excited, knowing that you should be able to score multiple rides on your favorite coaster. Well, you're at the ride entrance, and to your dismay, they're only running one train. A wait time that could have been a walk-on has now turned into a 45-minute wait, or worse. As much as we hate to admit it, there is a reason why an amusement park doesn't put all the trains on the track every day of operation. When the crowds aren't that busy, like during my visit to Cedar Point on a rainy October day, the park wasn't busy, so the majority of the roller coasters were operating with one train. Saving on the wear and tear of each train makes financial sense, but when the park is busy and we still see this practice in play, that's when I call foul. Well, I hope you enjoyed this list of things that coaster enthusiasts love to complain about. Be sure to share your list of things you love to complain about in the comments. Until next time, this is X Scream Thrills.